Welcome to the Run Radio podcast. I'm Trina Wilcox, and today my guest is Maria Rekrut. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much, Trina. Nice to see you again. Thank you
Nice
for
to see.
inviting me.
Yeah, you're usually doing interviewing. You do have a podcast, and you are a busy woman as well. So thank you for taking time to chat with me. I want to talk about so many things, but especially your passion for entrepreneurs and how you've kind of dedicated your life to making sure other people can be financially independent, how they can start an online business, and so on. But first, tell me what even geared you in this direction.
Well, I was born and raised in a family of entrepreneurs. My dad was an entrepreneur, and on both sides of my heritage, on my mother's and father's side, they always had businesses. So I always heard that. And so we always spoke. My father would sit down at the dinner table and we would talk about business. He would tell us what's going on. And when we'd go out for drives in the countryside, and he'd say, "That's a good house to buy," because he was a real estate investor also. He'd say, "That's a good house to buy. This is why. That's not a good house to buy. That's why." And so he was teaching us as we were going along. And one thing, I was talking to my sister just yesterday, and she said something really profound. She says, rules are to be broken. I said, "Oh my God." I remember my father saying that. He says, "Rules are to be broken. Who says you have to follow the rules?" Right? Now, we're not talking about killing somebody. We're
No.
talking about business, right?
Yes.
I mean, you have to go after your passion. And it's nobody's business but your own, whether you make it or you don't. Because you know how it is, Trina, you're a businesswoman yourself. You can see that there's not many people that will pat us on our shoulder. That's just not the way it is. And I think many people give up when they don't find that, whether that's with the family or whatever. I think it comes from within. Like when I was 13 years old, I joined Junior Achievement. And I enjoyed that so much and I learned so much. I actually became the best salesperson. and yeah, and I was, I guess I was a young girl, 13 years old. So I became the best salesperson. I got some silver coins. I never forgot that. And what we did, we had Pepsi as a sponsor. So I enjoyed that. I loved having the Pepsi, right? So when we had our meetings, I think it was once a week or once a month. It's too long ago for me to remember. But we would meet with some executives, some Pepsi, and they would get us started and say, "Okay, let's look at a business. What would you like to do?" And so we came up with the idea of making blackboards and selling blackboards. So I was born and raised in Winnipeg, and it's very cold there in the wintertime, but I went from door to door selling blackboards in the middle of the winter. So and then I got the prize for being the best sales person. And then on top of that, I was bookkeeper for them. So I learned so much just about the whole process, and I loved it. It burnt the fire within me, but I still decided to go to school anyways. And I worked as a secretary. I finished grade 12, then I went on for a year of secretarial. So I could learn shorthand, typing, all that, bookkeeping included, so I could work in an office. So that's how I saved my money to go to Europe to study music. And I had a burning desire to go to Europe since I was 10 years old. And so I started saving my money at 10 years old. And I used to sing at weddings and at funerals. So the entrepreneurial spirit was with me always. But I went ahead with my schooling that took over 10 years. And then I started a business in New York City. That's where I met my husband, and we got married and we started our business. And then I came to Canada, continued my business. So that's kind of the long and short of it. You can always go on my website, realwealthrealestate.com, and read there. It has it all, Trina. It's too long, it's been 2 years now.
But that's really nice. That's nice that you've done so much, because it can be limiting, especially when you're talking about your passion. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on young people to figure out what that passion is, to commit to for lifelong. And it seems like you kind of tried stuff out and,
Sure.
threw stuff at the wall to see what would stick.
Yeah.
Talk about that passion and how, first of all, how you can discover what that is and how to find something that is sustainable, even though it might not be your passion.
That's really important. That's the part where a lot of entrepreneurs are taken off, right? They can't afford to live.
Right.
So what I did is I always had a part-time job. I had 7 part-time jobs. Trina, and I was making money, and I was using my education because I have a music education. So I started teaching music. I started developing courses for universities and colleges. And then what I did is I worked in offices for a little while, because I had the skills that I could do that. So all the skills that I learned since I was a little child and then went on to school, I used to make money. And then at one point, I did a lot of business development consulting because I developed businesses, and nobody wanted to listen to me. Not many wanted to listen. I just developed my own. I mean, what do I have to fight City Hall? I'll just do my own. So at one point in my 40s, my father kind of said, maybe you should start going into real estate. I said, how am I going to do that? I had purchased a house in 1988 with my own money. First and second mortgage I borrowed, third mortgage I borrowed, but I paid it off after 12 years. And I had only one mortgage. And I was just talking to friends. I wanted always to buy a bed and breakfast. And they said, well, your property's gone up in value. Why don't you refinance? I said, what does that mean? There you go, right? I mean, I was earning business as a business development consultant, but real estate, I bought my own house, and I thought, I want to buy more property. I want to buy more property. How do I do it? So I went to my father. I said, can you lend me $10,000? He says, no, I can't. He said, you have to figure it out yourself.
Oh,
but listen to this. This is really interesting. My dad was such a smart man. Okay. So I did finally buy a house in 1988. And as I said, I had the first mortgage at 11%, the second mortgage at 13%. And then the third I don't think I paid any interest. I just paid it back, and then I had my own money. So as I said, I had paid all of them off by 2000. And I thought, okay, now let's get serious. I was in my late 40s. I said, you know what? I liked going around doing business development consulting. I was going all over Canada and US for big companies. What was the company's name now? SkillPath. I used to work for SkillPath. I don't know if you know about them. I don't know if they exist anymore. And they came out of Kansas City. And so I went around, I would teach groups, like maybe 200 people or 300 people. I would stand in front of them for 8 hours selling, whatever the course was, and then they could buy the book at the end of it. So I ran that, I did that, and I thought, okay, this is okay, I can continue doing, but I didn't want the stress of traveling. So I said, okay, what else can I do? Let me buy a bed and breakfast. Let me get into real estate.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I found out from a friend that, your house has probably gone up in value a lot. I said, really? Because I wasn't paying attention. So I went to my bank and said, oh yeah, your house has gone up a lot. So yeah, we can refinance. So they did it. I pulled up a ton of money, got a second house, and then used my own money as a second mortgage. You have to put money down. So I had my own money. And I did this. And I thought, this is nice, but people, it was a short-term rental. Yeah, but people can cancel anytime. That's not smart. Yeah. So then so within 4 months, I started buying other property because I had money in the bank. I thought, no, student rentals, right? Student rentals, because they need it for 12 months out of the year. So that's how I expanded my business. It was because I wanted to become more financially independent. So I had to do what I had to do. And I thought, where is the best amount of money? Real estate. So that's what I've been doing since 2000. Is real estate, and still doing business development consulting, but you can't live off of that. You can't live off of that. Let's face it, right? Because but real estate you can live off of. Yeah.
And it does sound risky and a little scary. So a lot of people can't afford to take that risk. So what would you say?
I couldn't afford to take the risk. What I did is I found a mentor. First of all, I found a mentor in real estate, but my father could give me advice too, right? But I found a mentor, a young man who was 10 years younger than me. And he wanted to do a business deal, and he couldn't find anyone to do it with. And I said, okay, I'll do the business deal with you, I said. And he says, how much do you want for it? How much do you want to pay me? $10,000. I looked at him and said, no. I said, I don't want any money from you. You need that $10,000. That's why you're doing this. I said, but you're going to teach me how to become a millionaire, and you're not going to charge me for it. And when I need your help, you're going to be there. And he did. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. So I think I've always been a business person. I kind of, And you know, can I
Yeah.
just suggest to your listeners what
Yes.
people should be doing? And I try to tell people, they don't want to listen, is do barter. Like there's barter groups in the world. I joined 8 of them, and I built my wealth through barter. And you're going to say, how did you do that? Well, when I wanted to go traveling, I used barter to travel. I didn't have to use my cash. When I wanted to go to the hairdresser, I used barter. When I want to buy jewelry, I used barter. When I wanted to buy
Oh,
clothes, so the money that I made, I put towards purchasing another house or paying bills or mortgages, because they will not allow you to pay, with barter. But I'm a true believer in barter, and I have told so many people to do that, and so few people have actually done it and taken me up on it.
what are
They
some examples of how you would barter? What would you give in exchange?
Oh, they would come and stay at my bed and breakfast for, at a certain
Yeah.
price. And it goes to a central bank. The barter exchange has a central bank where the people put their points in, and you have your points. And then I can buy from anybody and they can buy from anybody. But the point, they're the bank, eh? And then you pay like a 5% fee or 1% or something like that. But it
Oh,
was,
so you're talking legit like
oh,
points.
oh, of course.
Okay.
Oh, of
So
course.
in my mind, I'm just thinking casual exchange, just a
You can do
person's
that too.
agreement.
I can do that too, and I've done that
Hmm.
too. But for people starting out, they should go through an exchange. So you
Nice.
learn the ropes. You won't be taken advantage of, right? Because you have
Yeah.
the bank, right? So I
Very cool.
I did that right away as soon as I moved, because I moved from New York City, moved into Canada, and I started right away. I joined the group within a year, and I started bartering right away. I bartered my services for business development consulting, my accommodations, and someone actually lived in one of my properties for about 3 years, paying me entirely with barter dollars.
Oh,
Why not?
neat.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got to find other ways of making money. If it doesn't have to be cash, it can be other ways of making money. But you need another source of income. You cannot rely on your business to bring your money, because you will starve. You need to work for somebody else where you can make good money, and it holds you through to pay your mortgage, to pay your house, and all of that. You need that because you can sleep at night. And in the meantime, build your business on the side. And in 2008, it was when I actually was able to not have to work for anyone else but myself. That's how many years from 1982. And I'm living off of my real estate now, completely on my real estate. But it took
Nice.
how many years, Trina? 1982 to 2008
Yeah.
to count that. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah, yeah.
What's been one of the
Go ahead.
purchases in real estate that you're most proud of?
All of them.
Yeah. I didn't know if one maybe stood out that you were like, for some special
Oh,
reason that you're like,
oh, yes. You know
oh,
what? Yes, 2 of them actually.
okay. Tell me
I
about it.
bought them. I bought them from one from a family member and one from a friend.
Uh-huh.
And the deal that I did with the friend is I will buy your house from you, but you can live there for free.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the other one was my brother. He was out of the country. As he loved that house. He had all his stuff there.
Mm,
And he was an artisan, had everything there. I said, I'll buy your house and just leave everything the way it is, which I did, and I have, right? So
neat.
I would say holding true to your word is very important. And I would say
Mhm.
that was, yeah, those were the ones that I enjoyed the most. I bought houses privately. I bought houses through real estate agents and all of that. But yeah, real estate is the way to go, but you can't do it without education. So when
Yeah.
I started in 2000, I was going almost every week to Toronto to learn about it, plus my mentor. And I was reading books and I was learning. I had mentors even for my short-term rentals, which is bed and breakfast or cottage rentals like Airbnb, right? I had mentors that were showing me what to do, telling me what to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. I mean,
Yeah.
learn from other people quickly. It's not like YouTube now, Trina.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easier now with YouTube. We didn't have YouTube in 2000.
It is, but there is still something good about building that in-person relationship and connecting with them and having that too. So that's still important. And that's probably really valuable to you, as you know, in so many ways
Oh yeah.
moving forward.
But
What one
just hold on. Okay,
sure.
this is my caveat. So, okay. So I told you my father wouldn't give any money to me, right?
Right.
But listen to this. He said, "Oh, you know what? Your uncle will give you some money to help you along." I said, oh, wonderful. I knew my uncle, of course. We have very close family. So he gave me the money. I don't know how much money it is now, maybe $30,000. I don't remember, Trina. And I paid it all back and everything. And listen to this. My dad was so smart. And so at one point, I said to my uncle, I said to him, if you ever want to invest with me again, I'm happy to take your money to invest in another property and I'll give you the money back like I did before. He never took me up on it. So listen, many, many years later, I said to him, Uncle Emil, that money wasn't yours, was it? It was Poppy's, wasn't it? He said, yeah, it was my father's. But
Oh,
he gave it to my uncle, so I would want to pay my uncle, but he thought I wouldn't pay him back. Of course I would, right? But
yeah.
how smart he was. So in fact, he did come in, but like my father, he says, if
Yeah.
you can't go through the straight line, go around it, right? So I mean, like my father taught me so many things, and it only comes up to light now, Trina, as I'm getting older. I hear his stories. I mean, like he was such a wise man, taught us
Oh,
how to fish. He taught us how to fish.
yes. Very important. Very important.
Very important. Yeah. Very,
So
very.
what would you be doing, even if it wasn't making you any money, but something that it's in you to do and you have to do it no matter what? What is that thing?
Okay, well, YouTube, podcasting, writing. I'm a writer, right? Have my website. Now I'm launching my own radio station. There's no
Yes.
that, right? I mean, there's going to be money, but how many hours will you be spending on it, right? Energy that we put into it. That's
Mhm.
what I'm doing right now.
And what
It
do you
makes,
love about that?
oh, well, I'm very creative. First of all, I'm very creative, but also I love to have a challenge. And because I'm a perpetual learner, which you say to me, right? I never
Yes.
thought about it, but you're right. I'm a perpetual learner. So that is what keeps me going. That's what gets me up in the morning, is, oh, let me see what else I can do here. What else can I discover? So yeah, I'm studying and learning all the time. Now I'm into artificial intelligence. Oh, who thought of that before, right? Starting in
Yeah.
January, Chat GPT, 3, 4, 5, everything else that's going on, right? How do you use it for your business? Yeah, absolutely.
Exciting. Okay, and because it's run radio and I really have a passion for health and wellness, what
Yes.
thing do you do physically or just to calm yourself down? What do you do to take care of yourself and to make sure that energy is fresh for your business?
Oh, that's really important.
Yes.
I sleep well.
Good.
If I feel tired, I go to bed and I just watch YouTube videos about something I want to learn, right? I walk every day. I hike every day about 5,000 steps minimum. I watch my diet. I drink my special concoction in the morning, olive oil with lemon, which is really good
Ooh.
for your system. Yeah, get your system kicked in. Then I have my wonderful cappuccino, but that is really important. That is, your health is really important. My father told me, without your health, Maria, you have nothing. You are very rich. I remember when he told me that, Maria, you are a millionaire when you have your health. And I said, no, you're not. He says, yeah, because when you have your health, you can do anything.
You
If you don't have your health, you can't do anything. Again, he was right about that. And I can
yeah.
see that. Yeah.
When you don't feel well, you instantly respect that phrase about
Yes.
having your health because it's so
Yeah.
powerful and so important to take care of. What are some things that are on your list that you still have yet to conquer?
Oh, start a TV channel.
All right. Yeah, I'm with
TV
you.
channel and then writing a couple more books.
Yes,
And
that's
then let's see what's
exciting.
going to happen with AI. What's that going to bring on, right?
Yeah.
I still want to buy some more properties because I believe in that. That's pretty much it, just enjoying my life. Just I want to go into full retirement, but that doesn't mean I don't do things. Excuse me. Let me just turn this off. Sorry. Just have to turn that off. Sorry. That doesn't mean I don't want to enjoy my life, right?
Right.
My father had his business until he was 88. So I
Oh,
mean, like
yeah.
when you retire, right? But what happens is that you slow down and you just do the things you love, like I'm doing right now, right? And
Mhm.
I do a lot of things online, so I don't have to meet necessarily with people, or
Mhm.
I do things from home, which is very helpful. I think you and I were talking about that when I
Yes.
you last week, that we don't have to run around to meetings. We can just do it online. And this is wonderful with Zoom and
Yes.
Be Live TV. So we can meet great people like you. How would I have met you?
I
Except
know it.
I would
It
have
is
never
great.
met you,
It
right?
is great.
So that, yeah, I would say that.
So let people know where they can find your books, where they can learn more about you and the things that you have to teach them about real estate and more.
Thank you. Well, I'm Maria Rekrut. That's Maria. Last name is Rekrut, Rekrut. You can find me on Facebook. Touch base with me on Facebook and say you found me on Trina's Zoom, okay? Because Trina and I will be doing a lot of things together. We're just starting our partnership here, you know,
Starting.
as women entrepreneurs. I mean, women have to stick together, okay? So my website is realwealthrealestate.com, and you'll read about me, but also I have blogs that I post there and videos, all that will help you get started with your business. I have my YouTube channel. It's called Real Estate Media News Network. My podcast is Maria Rekrut and All Things Real Estate. And you're going to see my radio station pretty soon. I'm not going to tell you the name right now because we're just building it, right? So it's not time for everyone to watch it. But please get in touch with me on social media. I'm on all the sites. Just say, hey, I know you're from Trina's interview.
Sounds great. I'm sure you will be back soon. Please connect with Maria, learn more about her, and thanks so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Trina. Thanks very much. God bless. God bless everyone.